Hi guys, I am so excited to make this video today. This is actually almost 7 to 8 years in the making, and today we're talking about paid family and medical leave in Colorado. So in the next slides, you're going to see how intimately I was involved in helping establish this bill, this legislation. And, historically what happened was, first of all, it took a long time to even bring it to the voters, but it had to come to the voters because even Governor Polis at one point was just like, and for those who don't follow Colorado politics, Governor Polis is a Democrat. And at one point, he also was like, no, the state is not in charge of this. And, we're going to let every businesses decide, because actually Polis is a businessman at heart. So the bill didn't even get passed in a Democratic Congress and a Democratic governor, and it was given to the voters. So it was actually put on to vote on, and it passed. And I am just so excited about it. There's going to be more videos on our YouTube channel explaining exactly what it is, but briefly, it is a social insurance, just like workman's comp. Both employees and employers contribute to it, and it's also based on your income. There is a cap, so you can't just be making, and the cap is based on what the average wage of Coloradan families are. And the coolest thing about this is obviously the Paid Family Leave Act. It covers maternity leave, it covers paternity leave, it covers adoption, surrogacy, and in surrogacy, the birth mother, which is super important. And on top of that, it covers, if you as an individual is going through major treatments like cancer treatments or recover from injury. And there is a difference between FMLA, which is a 12-week, unpaid protection of your job, and what we have in Colorado here, which is FAMLI. So again, just check out our YouTube video to see the differences. And what does that mean for me, right? Like, what does that mean and why I'm so freaking excited about this? The reason for this is when you actually look at the fourth trimester and you look at what paid protection means for our mothers and our fathers, you have increase in breastfeeding rate, more bonding time, not only for the mom, but the father. And bonding time is critically important because it allows that newborn to feel safe in the parenting that they're in and allows the flourishment of that infant to toddlerhood to childhood. Other things, like I said, increasing in breastfeeding rates, more people go to their preventive visits, more people go to their 6-week visits, and all of that, guess what? Saves medical dollars. And as we know, in this time where healthcare cost is so high, prevention is the key, and this will help it. So it did get enacted January 2024, and please check out the videos of paid family leave on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Hi guys, it's Dr. Patel again. Let's continue our conversation with paid family leave. And in my previous videos, I've said, hey, listen, it is a cost in savings because we're investing in our families, our society, our community, our actual economy. But how do I know all of this? How am I preaching this? And where does this data actually come from? So, boom, my book, The Doctor and Her Black Bag, wrote it over COVID, took a long time kind of researching all of this. And in this book, we have a whole chapter on, drum roll please, paid family leave. So this chart right here illustrates the countries that have universal paid family leave. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but there we are, the United States, 0. Definitely in the United States, there are different businesses that provide paid family leave. and they are private sectors that do it. However, it is not universal. In Colorado, again, please go to our YouTube channel where we delineate the Paid Family Leave Act and what it means for Coloradans on there. But on this video, we're just going to really dive in and look at the economics of this. So there is this researcher named Mariam Khan who systemically reviewed outcomes in children's mothers and fathers for understanding the impact of paid family leave. Now, her research, the database was derived from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So that is OECD. And some of you guys might be familiar with it because it is part of the United Nations. And also it represents the top 43% of global economies. So these are your first world countries and their economy. So we're looking at those. So we're saying, okay, these first world economies are giving universal paid family leave. They're taking it upon themselves to do it. They're not putting it on the private sector. So what does that mean for the economy and financially for those countries? And what she found was that the underlining thread that makes paid family leave beneficial is the opportunity for bonding. Okay. Let's take that step back. So now if you actually add medical literature to that and understand what bonding is. So bonding is the simple act of connecting with your newborn. Newborns, it's such a critical period in the 4th trimester for newborn attachment, okay? They need to feel safe. They need to know that their desires, their needs, how they communicate will be answered. They need to understand that in the environment that they're in, they are safe. So paid family leave allows those opportunities because now as parents, you don't have to worry about where your next paycheck is coming from. Taking it a step further, that bonding, again, going back to the infant attachment theory, allows that infant to flourish, to develop as toddlers, as children, as adolescents. So bonding, when we kind of just say it casually, but there is science behind that. There is impact behind that. Some of this literature impact actually comes from women who suffer from postpartum depression that are untreated. So women who have untreated postpartum depression, when you actually look at the development of those children, when they're infants, they might not reach their developmental potentials. We as pediatricians in our office, we will give you a developmental ASQ, they're called, and you're kind of checking that off. As children, they might not achieve their highest potential for educational achievement, but also more importantly, because they have never been modeled how to handle emotions, they might be your troubled kid that is being called just because they've never learned how to model emotions and anxiety and depression and all of that combined. And then lastly, as adolescents, these kids who have mothers who have undiagnosed postpartum depression actually have increased risk for getting mental health issues themselves. What paid family leave does, it actually, again, going back to my book, please, by the way, this book is available on our website for free as a PDF. The audio is available and free on our website as well. It's available on Amazon. If you have Audible, it's free on there as well because I want this message to go out. I want literally creating a movement of changing how we perceive maternal mortality, how we perceive this critical 4th trimester, and what it means economically. So I don't, and it's not a foo-foo-y, it is presenting data, it is data backed. And so please, I encourage you to read more about it. And yes, I've been getting good reviews for it too. So encourage you guys to read it. But going back to postpartum depression, we were talking about. So the Center of Epidemiology Studies / Depression found that paid maternity leave is associated with a 15% reduction in maternal depressive symptoms. Okay. Lastly, and this is what we're talking about, investment in our families and our society. And the other thing is healthcare cost, right? So one of the big things is breastfeeding. Paid family leave increases breastfeeding. So why is that so important? Because remember, breastfeeding is not only important for infant health. Those kids who can breastfeed exclusively for at least 6 months have reduction in ear infections, reduction in allergies. The list kind of goes on. But also those women who can breastfeed have reduction in cancer risk, especially ovarian cancer. And so there is implications of maternal health. And so breastfeeding, if we're not just looking at it from this time period, only from the lens of the infant, but also the mother, right? And all of that entails cost savings in our healthcare system. As we all know, and we're all living it, our healthcare system is, it's a lot, right? It's very, very expensive, but just allowing this investment of paid family leave. And in here, according to Bartrix et al. In 2017, Americans could save $17.2 billion. Let me say that again. $17.2 billion in costs associated with medical expenditure and premature births if mothers were able to exclusively breastfeed for 6 months. Lastly, on the employer side, okay, wait, I had to pause for that. That's a lot of money, guys. I was like, wait a minute, I've got to pause again. Because when I came across that initially, I was like, oh my God. And now I'm like making a video on it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we've got to really kind of pause and take that in. Good God, that's a lot of money. Okay. I won't belabor all these points. Just one more point on the employer side of it. And again, this was actually data driven and research driven. And we're not just talking about moms, right? Because everybody's like, oh, maternity leave, paternity leave is for the moms. And, you know, we're going to not hire those women who are in the reproductive age. We're also talking about dads. And so bonding is so important, right? So actually the data from the United Kingdom said that paternal leave increases a father's involvement in childbearing by 19%. And again, that equates to a healthier family. I won't bore you with all the little nuances, but get the book. It's really good. I promise you. So what is, again, on the employer side and talking about not only dads, but moms, the replacing, like, so now if a mom or a dad went on paid family leave, and so what they saw that replacing that worker would actually cost an estimated of 21% of the employee's annual salary. Yeah. Again, The Doctor and Her Black Bag, available wherever you find your books. It is on Audible. It's about 5 hours, a really quick read, a quick understanding of where we are in really investing in our families, investing in our society, investing in our communities, and why this work in the fourth trimester is just so important to me. And yeah, if you have any questions, please ask. Again, this book is data driven. There's emotions in the first part because I kind of tell you guys my story and how I came to this juncture in my life, but everything else that's presented is economically data driven. So please check it out, and check our YouTube channel for paid family leave and what the difference for FMLA is and what Familia is, was what's in Colorado. Colorado is it's actually the only state currently of this video that actually honors medical and has paid leave for medical reasons. So, for example, cancer treatment, you've had surgery, or also, particularly people like me and my generation, we're the sandwich generation where we're taking care of raising our kids and also taking care of our boomer generation, and when they have health issues and how we can support that. So paid family leave, definitely an investment in our communities and our families and our society. And guys, at the end of the day, don't we all want that? So anyways, thank you. This is Dr. Patel.